What's going on, guys? This is Chiefs Out West. We are your hosts, Miami Super Bowl Kia.
And South Beach, north of Davie, Butch.
We are here to talk about this is a pregame show of the Super Bowl 54. The away team 49ers versus the home team Kansas City Chiefs. Woo! This is going to be an amazing matchup. We've had 2 weeks to overanalyze and go crazy about this game, but this Sunday is the game that we've all been waiting for. For Chiefs fans, it's been over for like 50 years. Going to be a great game. Butch, how has these 2 weeks been for you? How are you feeling?
Man, I kind of want to get it over with. It sucks, being at this point where we've kind of overanalyzed this game, like you mentioned. But I really have been enjoying kind of soaking it in, trying to take a backseat on the analytics, and just enjoy watching our guys do something that they're probably only going to do once in their life. Hopefully not, but this could be once in a lifetime stuff, and I'm just really enjoying it. Kind of don't want it to be over, but kind of want it to be over.
Right. Yeah. I think we're all a lot of people are on the same page. It's just so amazing for just the fans and the players to really appreciate this time, taking this time and enjoy a moment that maybe not all will ever experience ever in their career. And so it's a great time. But yeah, we have a very important game on Sunday. The important game that every team wishes they could be. And this year it's the Kansas City Chiefs and the 49ers able, taking advantage and being in this moment. So let's first talk about. Let's start off with the 49ers offense versus the Chiefs defense. Which is this is like a really, people are going to look at this matchup. This is one of like the top matchups we're all looking at. What are you expecting? What are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, just from taking a look over a certain number of games of this Niners offense, it becomes clear to me why in the playoffs they were able to run as many run plays as they did to control the clock and control the game. And it's two things that I think the Chiefs can easily avoid. The first is that they're too big to be ran on like they were against Green Bay. Green Bay just didn't have the personnel. It was a bad mismatch the first time, even worse mismatch the second time. That won't be the Kansas City Chiefs. And the other thing is that the Kansas City Chiefs aren't going to find themselves in positions where they're turning the ball over like the Minnesota Vikings did, which allowed them to get run on constantly, play after play after play. The run game is what makes Kyle Shanahan feel secure about the games that he is coaching in. He believes that if he's able to run it 30 plus times, that he has the game in hand. And that all happens really when the other team screws up. So if we don't screw up, we have a pretty good shot at slowing down this offense.
Right. Yeah. This run game, 49ers were able to run over 200 yards rushing against the Green Bay Packers and only pass the ball about 6 to 8 times. And that's where the main question comes. You know, um, they have this run game, but they also have a pass game that they didn't really utilize a lot in the playoffs. And in my eyes, what do if you want if your quarterback is playing in the Super Bowl for the first time or just in having a playoff experience like this for the first time, like don't you want him to gain some confidence going into this game? Like it shows to me that either they don't have a lot of confidence in him or I don't know. I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, and I'm not sure if it's so much a lack of confidence in Jimmy. I think that they trust him to execute the offense. They just know that that's not going to be their bread and butter. They can't do that to Jimmy. They can't put that on Jimmy's back in that fashion because that's going to set him up to fail. What they can do is use a lot of the designs and plays that Kyle spins drawing up with Mike. He wants to get through the entirety of the call sheet if he can on the run side and really use the creativity to play mind games with the defense. That's what makes them enjoyable to watch. I think that's what makes them fun to watch. And just so happens to be the case that part of that includes turnaround and handing it off in many different fashions or throwing it to short portions of the field. That's where Jimmy excels in. That's what he's been coached to do in this offense. I don't see them being able to do that against the Chiefs for 4 quarters, but I just think that's in the natural flow of their offense.
Right. And so yeah, so the Chiefs defense are going to go against a really dynamic offense like the 49ers. They're going to have to deal with a lot of reverses. Deebo Samuel going left, going right, a lot of fakes, like a lot of plays. You're just like who has the ball, a lot of trickery. Like what is this? What is our Chiefs defense, who has improved over the weeks with the running game? And and has little speed, but the linebackers are a little not that fast. Like, what are you looking at? Like, what are you looking at our Chiefs team? What do they need to do to be able to maintain this offense?
Well, I'm glad you asked that because that's point number 2 here of my 3 points that I wrote down for the defense. You'd think it'd be all about getting to the edge, right? All these edge runs, Deebo Samuel to the outside on fly sweeps, in arounds, toss sweeps. Actually, my second key here, it's to stop the run up the middle. They want to run trap. They want to run power. They want to run access lanes where they're able to get from the center and the guard to the second level of your defense so quickly that they act like they're going to go to the edge and then get up the middle on you in a hurry. That's what gets them to 7, 8, 9. That's what gives them comfort in their running game. If you can stand up to the middle run, do you have an opportunity to stop them, at least in that phase of the game? And quickly as well, I'll go into my first point here. I think that as a quick follow-up to my first point, and I'll let you speak on this and what you saw on the tape yourself. The runs, either to the outside and up the middle, is what sets up the pass for them. And that's where I would say for the defense, they're going to have to take some gambles on these. Not easy to gamble with this offense because they can hit their head on the goalpost with their speed if you guess wrong. But on some of these turns and runs, these fakes that eye candy they give, we may have to call BS on it. I want our linebackers to not bite on the play fake, take 2 steps back, get in between the hashes where Jimmy Garoppolo likes to throw those slants and over routes, and pick one of them off. Because a couple of them are going to come your way. They're going to get impatient on this in their ability to turn around and hand off the ball. If they don't think they can do it earlier, if the Chiefs keep them within arm distance, they're going to be able to get those opportunities to get a couple balls from Jimmy, much like other teams have.
Right. Yeah. I mean, and you're so right. Like, when you see a lot of these trick plays and reverses, like it's hard because you have to pick one, and when you're indecisive already, it's just you're going to be messy. You're just going to get stuck, and you're going to get blown off, and they're going to go off for 30, 40 yards. So yeah, like it's in the beginning you're going to have to do that. Just sit there and just let it happen. And then as a team, and what I love about what Spags does, is that he just lets it happen. He lets it happen. Hey, if they score the first drive, that's fine. But what did we learn from them? How are they moving? Like, what can we do to eliminate some of the runs? And what can we be more observant on? So when we see it, we know, like, okay, let's bring all our linemen to the left, or let's bring all our linemen to the right. To kind of trick them or whatever. So, it's just all going to be about patience in the beginning of the game with this team. I'm already expecting, like I have with other teams that we played against, that we all year basically, and in the playoffs, that hey, the first 1 or 2 drives are gonna probably be, what looks like pretty easy, like touchdowns or end zones, touchdowns, but that's because we're just analyzing what they're doing. But I think from then on, we'll have a kind of a good idea. So for me, it's just being patient and analyze it, what's going on, and then implement what you see after.
Yeah, the Spags and this defense, they've shown that they're smart enough to keep the guys in there that know how to make adjustments in game, and they make them very quickly. They don't wait till halftime. They see what the defense is doing. If they make mistakes with what they're doing with their initial reads, they go back to each other and they find out how to make it happen on the next one. That's how they were able to get Tennessee down and stop the run early. It was a mix of personnel alignment and learning from what they were doing wrong the first time. It's part of the reason why they keep guys like Dorian O'Daniel on the sideline. It's because they feel that the guys that they have, especially at the linebacker position, even though they're a tick slow, even though they're not as athletic, he trusts them. And they're big. They can fill. They can stand up to blocks, get off of blocks, but most of all, they're smart enough to learn from their mistakes.
Right. Yeah. And exactly. And and after these two drive, the first two drives, I see our defense just, figuring them out a little bit, stopping the run, and that's when I think Chris Jones is going to have a big game right there. Garoppolo is going to have the ball in his hands, and he's just going to have someone in his face in the center. And and really quick, and he's one of my predictions that could be the MVP of the Super Bowl if we win. But yeah.
Chris Jones could end up pricing himself right out of Kansas City in this Super Bowl. Yeah, I really do expect him to have a big game in this one.
Right. And so it's going to be a tough match. It's going to, this defense is going to have their hands full. They're going to have to remain focused at all times while they're playing, while they're on the bench, like in halftime, like every time they're going to have to be really stay focused because this is a good team that we're playing, and it's going to be a lot of fun to watch. So moving up from let's go to the Niners defense against the Chiefs the Chiefs offense. Here we are, the freaking number one defense in the NFL with the San Francisco 49ers with a great defensive line versus the Patrick Mahomes, that everyone who's basically proven a lot of defenses wrong. Butch, are we going to see Patrick Mahomes take on this number one defense and make him look foolish like he has with other defenses?
Yeah, we are. After looking at what this is, I hate to sound so confident about it, but I look at this Niners defense and look, what is this about? Okay, the reason why I gave my first offensive key to the game as light them on fire, much like it did for the AFC Championship game, is because we're not going to. This isn't going to be difficult to do. This isn't like you come into the Super Bowl as, oh man, what wrinkle does Bill Belichick have for us on this one? How are they going to disguise their coverages this time and fool us and act like they're blitzing guys? There's none of that. There's none of that in this defense. They're fast. They're physical. They're just going to try to beat you one-on-one. So what you got? Okay, on offense, if you really are as good as you think you are, if you are as historically great as you have shown over the course of 2 years with Patrick Mahomes, no, there is no defense that's going to be able to just shut you down. So come out and do your stuff. Run your script and run it at full speed. If that happens, those first couple of 2-3 times where they don't make a couple plays, maybe they get a punt on the first drive, but the next couple drives, they end up getting extended and the scoreboard starts getting lit up, that starts planting seeds of doubt. Shanahan will start seeing this from the sideline, and his play calling will change accordingly. So come out, don't leave it, nothing in doubt about putting the ball in 15's hands. Let him carry you to victory.
Right, and before I make my points, what I think is going to happen, something really interesting. The McCourtney brothers from the Patriots were on, in Miami, talking about Mahomes and the offense. And they said one thing that, and Florio, he actually asked him. He's like when Patrick Mahomes scores, when they get a long play, how does that make you feel? And he said it honestly, it just depletes you. Like you just lose so much confidence, and you're just like, oh dang, here we go. This is where it starts, and that's what they do, and that's how defenses think. They're like, oh gosh, here we go again. So yeah, I mean, I think the biggest impact, I think that people don't really have a lot of confidence on, they're undervalued, is our offensive line. This offensive line since week 16, I think this offensive line has started since week 16, has been phenomenal. We played against the Bears D line, the Chargers D line, Texans D line, Titans D line, and we played phenomenal. They stood them. They gave Patrick Mahomes time to breathe, to sit down, read a book, fall asleep, wake up, and we've been successful. And no one's talking about it. Everyone's talking about this D line, dude. Eric Fisher is having another phenomenal year. Mitchell Schwartz on the outside. Those are one of the best tackles tandem in the NFL. And you got Wiz the Biz, who's coming back from Philadelphia, had some time off, prayed to God, believed in God. God brought him here, which I love. I love that about him. And and you got Reader and LDT playing at a high level. Like, this offensive line is going to be so much more appreciated after this game, and I feel like this group of guys like are not being valued in this game, and no one really thinks that highly of them. And I'm looking forward to that matchup against that D line.
I am as well. I mean, they're talented. That's what you want. You want to go up against the best, and they are the best in the NFL right now. But, like you mentioned, it's as if the Chiefs are putting out 5 road cones. If you listen to the rest of the media, oh man, the San Francisco pass rush and whatever will the Chiefs do against them? They're not going to be able to drop back. Poppycock. Okay, 97 for the San Francisco 49ers is Nick Bosa, and that's point number 2 on offense for the Kansas City Chiefs for me. Eric Fisher is going to have to meet 97 at the apex. Okay, he likes to line up a little bit wide, and that allows him to build up a little bit of momentum and power as he goes straight for the jugular into the tackle. Eric's going to have to meet him early. He can't let Bosa get into his pads, or he's going to get driven back. Eric's not a very big guy. Fish is not a very stout guy against the bull rush. But if he meets him with an aggressive pass set out there, he should be able to give him problems. That'll give Patrick Mahomes enough time, because I don't trust D4 being able to line up and do his one-step speed rush off the edge against Mitchell Schwartz and think he's going to get pressure on this guy. That's just not going to happen. So we'll get our opportunities to throw deep.
Right, yeah. And yeah, like you said with D4, like, we have a physical, Mitchell Schwartz is really physical, knows his game, and has played against D Ford in previous years. So, I do have a lot of confidence. Maybe my little worry is just the interior line with Buckner and Solomon Thomas and those guys. They are really good, and they're not talked about a lot either. So that the interior line is also going to be a great matchup to watch too. And another thing is, we're not really, we're talking about all the receivers, but no one's really talking about Damian Williams. Damian Williams not getting a lot of respect. That guy, he scored I'm going to say in the last 2 playoffs games, he scored a lot of touchdowns. I don't know the exact amount. I'm thinking it's around 10 touchdowns. He scored a lot of touchdowns, and he's made plays on his own, and he knows the system, and he's perfect for the system too. What do you think about, do you think the 49ers have the personnel and linebackers and everything to cover Damian Williams?
I mean, they have fast guys. They're very good. They're very good at covering towards the flats. But, yeah, I mean, there's another name, Damian Williams. You ask the media, they don't even know who Damian Williams is. It's all about Raheem Mostert and Tevin Coleman and Matt Breida and whoever Kyle Shanahan decides to pick up off the street, and he can pull a guy out of the stands and have him go run the football. It's just like the Chiefs don't have a running back right now who scored 12 touchdowns over the past 2 postseasons or something like that. And you know what? I think he will make his mark felt. And they're going to be it's going to be pick your poison. And San Francisco, I think, understands this. They're fast. They want to run downhill. They want to run to the edge, but they want everything to be immediate. They want to see it and go. And that's where Andy gets you. That's the beauty of having Andy Reid, because Andy Reid knows this. He's gonna put Pat under center a couple times. He's gonna get fly sweep motion to the right with one of his fastest guys. Fake it. Fake the fly sweep. Fake the screen to the fly sweep. They break out. Here comes Damian Williams running underneath on a tunnel screen towards the middle, or a halfback middle screen. That's how he gets his scratch. That's how he's going to get some of his money. The type of deception that we just talked about with Kyle Shanahan being able to pull off with his offense, we're going to get them with that. We're going to get them with their stuff a couple times for some big gains, and Damian Williams is going to be the recipient of it.
Right. Yeah. And so, yeah, I really do think he's going to have a big game. He's going to play an important part. And then we got the receivers, the very dynamic receivers. And I feel like we will have time to get open. Are we shying away from Richard Sherman? Are we going to Mosley's side or what?
We are going to target Sherman with speed. No, Kia, we are not shying away from Richard Sherman. Okay? Now, that's no disrespect to Sherman. He deserves everyone's respect, no matter what type of technique he plays. He can play bump and run. He can play man. He can play off man. It's sort of like a man turn where he's going deep into his cover 3 zone to play cloud over the top. So he can do that very well, especially when he plays with zone eyes back to the quarterback. That's where he gets a lot of his interceptions, is just either filling out the route or keeping an eye on what the quarterback's about to do. But when you face 4-2 speed, there's nothing like getting dusted a few times. And he got burnt by Devontae Adams a couple times in that game against Green Bay because he missed his jam. And he knows what the risk is when he lines up in his normal, I think it's his right cornerback spot there, or his left cornerback spot there. That's just where he lines up. All right, he's not moving. They're going to expose him to whichever speed we put over that side, and Pat's got to give it a shot. Outbreaking routes, comebacks, keep outs, double moves. If the jam is missed once, then everybody in that secondary is going to have to be like, all right, what are we going to have to bring help over to Sherm's side now? That's not what they want. They want to leave Sherm out on the island. He gets dusted once or twice. They'll panic. It's panic time over on that San Francisco sideline.
Right. And with the Vikings game, when the Niners played them, that front line put too much pressure on Cousins, where Cousins just didn't even know where he was at times. And they had one opportunity in the beginning when Stephon Diggs went one-on-one on the outside, and he got him. It was a really good pass. It was a really good catch. Pretty phenomenal, kind of lucky. I don't know, but that kind of shows that when the 49ers are not bringing pressure and the offensive line is able to hold them, you can make plays against their secondary. And again, like you said, it showed against the Green Bay Packers. Devontae Adams had a monster game. They had a pretty good game. It was just it just wasn't consistent enough because of the D-line putting a lot of pressure. Did you have a thought?
Yeah, back to those games. You look at those games, and I hate to keep barking on these previous games, but they give us some insight. Minnesota just played slow. They pay those guys, Diggs and Thielen, all this money. They don't use them. Then when they got behind in the game, they finally said, screw Dalvin Cook. We're just going to throw it out there. That's when their offense started to find rhythm. But by then, it was already a little too late. They're already in the hole. Green Bay, they had a play. Green Bay snaps the ball. Aaron Rodgers fumbles it. He doesn't even get the snap. He just drops it. In San Francisco, that's how they were able to get the run game going. That's how they were able to make themselves feel secure in those games. Stupid mistakes. Their defense was playing well, but those offenses, they just seem like they were stuck in neutral sometimes. That's not what they're going to be facing on Sunday. This is a fully revved up Maserati and Ferrari that's going to come for them on Sunday. And they better hop on that track or they're going to get smoked too. Now, I'm being serious. I like this defense. I think they're good. They could give up 400 plus if they're not able to get to Patrick Mahomes the way they think they're going to get to Patrick Mahomes. Because I don't care how good their linebackers are. If they want to keep Quan Alexander, 3 linebackers out there against our 5 wide sets, awesome. I'll take it. You'll get smoked twice. You'll get lapped twice in this game.
and we also have to be prepared too. We in our first 2 games, with Texans and Titans, we were dropping balls. We weren't, completing, we weren't making the best, plays to, continue the drives and help our defense stay off the field. And so there's going to be a lot of nerves. It's going to be a nerve-wracking game, but we just got to stay confident and really just trust the process and literally start from the moment we step on the field till the moment that goes 0-0-0-0. We got to keep playing all of it. It's going to be a great matchup, too. Both sides are going to be really good matchups. Now, let's go to our predictions. Let's do our predictions of the score, MVP predictions, and then a bold prediction. What do you think is going to happen in the game? Should we start off with, let's start with bold predictions.
All right. My one bold prediction of the game. All right. There are going to be touchdown passes thrown by the Kansas City Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes, but there's going to be at least one touchdown pass that's not thrown by Patrick Mahomes. My guess is going to be, I think, you think Travis Kelce because he used to be a quarterback, but I think it's going to be Sammy. I think Sammy's going to get a second opportunity to throw the football. I think he throws it over their head because I hear he has a pretty good arm.
Nice. That would make me explode right there in all kinds of ways. My bold prediction, this guy hasn't been playing a lot. He saw an increase of snaps as the season goes on, but because of the speed of the 49ers, I just see him having a little bit more of an impact, and that's Darren O'Daniel. I just see him bringing him in to just shadow these running backs and shadow, especially when they're putting him in the screen or in the pass, whatever it is. I think he has a big game, and I think he's one of the reasons why this Chiefs defense stays dominant over the offense and gives them a hard time and is successful. That's my bold prediction. Now we're gonna do predictions. Predictions of the score and your Super Bowl MVP.
All right. I'm not bold enough to predict a blowout. I just don't think it's going to get to that point. But I do think the Chiefs win. I do think they cover the spread. I have the Chiefs getting the ball down late in this game and Patrick Mahomes being able to light up the skies. By then, they score enough points. San Francisco pass rush, they're going to be a little tired. Those guys are going to be a little worn out. Patrick Mahomes leaves them down the field. Last seconds, 36-31 victory to win Super Bowl 54 for Andy Reid. And that San Francisco defense that everybody was, hugging on, they're going to give up 450-plus yards. They're going to get smoked.
Let's do it. Yeah. My prediction. Oh, and did you pick your Super Bowl MVP?
Oh, the MVP is going to be Mahomes. Come on now.
All right. Listen. We don't talk much about him, and I think he's just he played for the Miami Dolphins. He's coming back to Miami, and where they kind of just gave up on him and let him loose. And Damian Williams is such a good story, and I feel like he deserves all the credit. And I think we see more of him. And I don't know. I just think he's going to be my MVP. Damian Williams. Chiefs are going to win 34-30. They're gonna completely go over the point spread. But go Chiefs, baby. And that's about it. Any last words?
Man, I'm just so excited for this game. I'm going to be watching it at Jalapeno Pete's in Los Angeles, California. So, yeah, man, very excited. Where are you watching the game?
I'm going to Miami.
Oh, dude, you're going to Miami. Okay, maybe you didn't need it. That's awesome.
Oh, yeah,
have fun. Take pictures.
Yeah. No, yeah. I'm going to be in Miami with my brother, my cousins. We got a flight there, so we're going to enjoy the game. I'm excited. I'm just all about the game, and hey, this has been an amazing moment. This is going to be our last pregame, and it's been amazing and fun, and I can't wait to continue this with you, my man. One last thing before we do end it. If anyone's into like symbols or meant to be kind of stuff or numbers, Chiefs are on an 8-game winning streak. If they get this one, they're on a 9-game winning streak. We're playing a Super Bowl 54. 5 + 4 = 9. I don't know what that means, but hey, we're going to go with it. But yes, thank you guys. Please subscribe, like, comment, and everything. Go Chiefs. See you guys after the Super Bowl, baby. Peace.
Better pick up your phone when we win. I'm calling you.
Oh, hell yeah.